Hi everybody, this is a red and white Arcane Bombardment deck that was submitted by a viewer to the channel. I really like how straightforward it is in that it just wants to do a couple of things really well. Of course we've got Arcane Bombardment at the top, but supplementing that is a couple of copies of Sigarda's Splendor. Now I must confess this is a card I've never thought to use in Arcane Bombardment, but the more I look at it, it kind of makes sense. We do want to be gaining some life, and we will be casting multiple copies of white spells, and all the life gain helps. You can't go wrong with that. On the low end, we've got some nice copies of Play with Fire and Sacred Fire to go along with Lightning Strike. And then over here in the white cards, we've got Sunset Revelry, just kind of a catch-all card. We can cycle it if it's worthless. It gains us life if we need life. Kind of gives us what we need in the scenario. So we've got some copies of Soul Partition, a great thing to slap under a bombardment and repeatedly exile your opponent's stuff with it. Of course, we've got 4 Union of the Third Path, one of the best white spells you can put in here. And I threw in a copy of the Celestus. The creator of this deck, I think, had a copy of the Iron Crag in there from Wilds of Eldraine. But since we're not playing any legendary creatures, I didn't really see the appeal. Now, it is true, if we play that on time on 2, then we get to our 4 drops a little bit faster, which can help accelerate out bombardment if we have a big score. But the Celestus also offers us some life gain. We can activate it and do some more card draw with it, which is usually what I find that I'm missing in a bombardment deck, and that's kind of what I like to play with. So I swapped out the Celestus for that card, but hey, it might work nice for you. Another card choice I really do like in here is Expel the Interlopers. Lets you choose a number between 0 and 10. You destroy all creatures with power greater than or equal to the chosen number. Now, if you just want to wipe everything, of course, choose 0, but we might be creating some devil tokens in the late game, and this is a great way to keep our devil tokens alive and get rid of all the big stuff that our opponent has on the board. So yeah, big thanks to Mike for sharing this one with me. I'm going to show you some games with this one out on the ranked standard ladder, but as always, thank you for watching, and if you've got a deck you want me to try on the channel, just throw it in the comments. You can find my email over in the channel information. Get it to me however you like. I'll take a look at it, and who knows, you might end up on a video. All right. Remembered to press the record button. Things they don't tell you in YouTube school. I must have missed that day. Anyway, we're trying out Mike's Arcane Bombardment list here. It's red and white. We got lots of life gain, lots of burn spells. A few cards I've never tried before, but looks like our opponent's on green-white enchantments. Let's hit this Naturalist with a Sacred Fire. Don't want that sticking around. Really just enables the whole rest of the deck. Lets them spew out the rest of their hand. Not fun for us. Oh, Calyx. I got utterly destroyed by a Calyx deck the other day. I was actually able to do its thing. I had nothing for it and kind of took over the game. Oh, great. Opponent's got a wedding announcement here. Calyx gets a counter. Yep, gonna hit us for 4. And they're gonna make a free copy of Wedding Announcement. Calyx really makes that deck. You just do some silly things with that card. That's wonderful. All right, let's get our Union of the Third Path going here. We draw Play with Fire, back to 24. Opponent makes a couple of tokens. Burn down the house, our draw, which is fantastic. As long as Calyx doesn't get out of range of burn down the house, if they want to start putting counters on other things, this Naturalist might be tempting. Okay, they go for the token. Sometimes folks put things on the Naturalist because of the life gain. All right, ouch. We're going to get hit for 8. Calyx's ability is going to happen. Let's see what they copy. Looking like Wedding Announcement. Yes, all right. Not great. And they'll put a counter on their human creature. So let's big score. Sunset Revelry, not so impactful right now. That's what we're going to discard. And we've got Bombardment in hand. I don't know. These Wedding Announcements happen. 3 draws, which is just gold for our opponent. All right, let's burn down the house. Calyx is in range. We might be able to handle these tokens from Wedding Announcements one at a time if we can get Bombardment going next turn. but the opportunity to maybe remove Calyx is like too great an opportunity to pass up for us. Okay, opponent's got Restoration. Luckily, Calyx too small in the mana cost to get resurrected with that. Okay, the 3 wedding announcements happen. Opponent's got triple 3/3 humans on board. We're going to play this land. Arcane Bombardment for sure. And let's pass it on over here. So we can afford to take the 9 from these creatures. Let's see what they decide to bring back. Naturalist. Looking at their announcements, and they've got a Weaver of Harmony too. Ugh. That enables all sorts of stuff. Almost as good as Calyx. All right, they're going to try to Michiko. That's fine. Anything else? All right, so we're going to let them go to attacks. We've got Soul Partition, which is just fantastic against tokens. They will never come back, so we'll choose the big one. Bombardment gives us big score. Let's discard Play with Fire. We get another one and a land. Partition takes out the big guy. We're left taking 6, dropping down to 10. Any follow-ups there? Land from the opponent. Spirited Companion. Surprised we hadn't seen that one so far. Comes down as a 4/4. Okay. Okay. Calyx really just setting this deck up super nicely for the rest of the game. We draw Splendor. All right, let's play with fire first. We pull up a Union. All right, that's pretty good. A lot of card draw, not a lot of board wipes just yet. I think we can big score. Let's discard this. Oh, let's discard this Play with Fire. Everybody over there is too big. There's a Burn Down the House. Nice. Play with Fire shows a Sacred Fire on the top. Let's not keep that. Looking for the bigger stuff. And you know, we don't get any bonus, but let's go ahead and burn down the house right now. That leaves him with an empty board for this next activation of Michiko's Reign of Truth. Flips over the Restoration, but it doesn't have haste. And we've got a Union in hand for playing a spell this turn. Generous Visitor from the opponent. Passing it on over. All right. Now's our chance to really kind of cement Bombardment's advantage. We pull up a Sacred Fire. No good targets except the face. Let's go Union, and then big score on top of that so that we draw the cards first. We get another Bombardment. Couple of lands. Sacred Fire bringing them to 16. We're back up to 22. 28 after this Union. Another Splendor, the draw. All right, well, I think we got plenty of mana. Let's get this Splendor down. We'll play Sunset Revelry to start activating everything. We'll go Play with Fire. I guess just at our opponent again. Sacred Fire as well. Union and big score again. Pitch this Pain land. Sigarda Splendor happens a couple times. Big score. Union. All right, good. There's an instant for our next turn. Play with Fire. We see Lightning Strike. Yes, please. Feels like we're going to be finishing this game with burn. Land for the turn. Yeah, we can afford this. Second Sigarda Splendor. And pass it on over. So we've got Soul Partition. Fine with me if we need to partition, I guess, anything on this board. Kami of Transience. All right. Any attacks from our opponent? Yeah, most likely. We just got some tiny humans holding pumpkins over here. We will block and block there. All right, humans down. Opponent passing. Let's go Soul Partition on one of the wedding announcement copies because that will never come back. if we exile it with the partition. Bombardment finds burn down the house finally. That's great. Let's go ahead and do 5 damage. We can point our burn spells right at the opponent. And we'll go Union. Burn down, big score again, excuse me. Sigarda Splendor happens, and we finish up at 55. Good game. All right. This is a weird one, but we're going to go for it. Lightning Strike makes it a little less weird. But Soul Partition, just kind of a nice catch-all card. If we need to delay our opponent, like with a Fading Hope, we can do that. If we need to remove tokens outright, it does that. And on top of all this, it's an instant. Cabaret colors, Virtue of Loyalty, and they're making tokens. There's a Thrill Seeker. I'm a little unfamiliar with this. Let's partition away the token in response to this ability pointing itself at the token. All right, land number 3. Usually some crucial turns in Bombardment as we're trying to dig for that 4th land to enable big score. Wren's Resolve. Interesting. Hits us for 1 with the Thrill Seeker. Let's Union. Well, there's a big score. Do we get a land? No, we don't. Why would we get a land? That would be too easy. All right. What do you got, opponent? Questing Druid, going to exile a few things off the top as they seek the beast. That is a research desk over there. Thought I was seeing things. Questing Druid. So this could be adventure themed. This could be also Pia Nalar themed, trying to cast things from exile and get free Thopter tokens out of it. I'm unsure, but you can get great value out of adventures anyway. Let's try to zap this Questing Druid before it can get too big. And yeah, let's play with fire the opponent's face. I need to scry and just see if we've got a land coming. Okay, good. We do. We do. Can't afford to get any slower. Missing land drops, not good. This deck does, interestingly, run 24 lands. I usually try to run about 26, depending on what I throw in these bombardment decks. Hitting our land drops and getting to bombardment, super important. But this deck has a lot of card draw, so it actually hasn't been hurting on the land drops too much. You usually find them. Let's big score away Revelry. We get a 3rd burn down the house. Opponent's got Virtue of Loyalty going now. Oh, so they get counters and they untap. That's kind of nasty. Let's wipe this board with burn down the house. So kind of like with Broker's Ascendancy, like Virtue of Loyalty loses its power if you can keep the board clear, and hopefully we can keep up with these burn down the houses. That looks like a Swift Spear, all right. Virtue, going to make a token. Activates Prowess on the Swift Spear, that's nice. All right, attacks us for 2. And then Virtue is going to grow everybody and untap them. All right. Well, we're kind of just time walking here with these burn down the houses. Let's reset the board. Draw another card. Opponent's got 2 more Virtue of Loyalty in hand. Oh. All right, let's just let it go. Invasion of Gobakan. They're going to take a look at our hand, be able to exile something. It gets a little more expensive, but we still have access to it, and it's kind of late in the game, so as long as we can keep them from flipping it, that's going to be the key. Celestus. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to change it over to Knight. Opponent's got the Adventure Virtue of Loyalty, so they're making a token. We draw, get big score. Let's discard Play with Fire, kind of trade up for that. Yeah, the Mike had a copy of the Iron Crag in here, but I swapped it out for the Celestus just because I was a little uneasy about it, but I totally get where they were coming from, because having a 2-mana rock in Standard again is kind of fun, and it really enables you to skip over the 3 mana turn and go right from 2 to 4, which is key, as you can see with big score here. Let's discard our mountain, go for the big score. All right, still a couple of small spells. Looking for the bombardment. Let's Soul Partition this thing and then pass it on over. So Celestus brings us back today. We draw and discard Sunset Revelry. Opponent's got a Bivouac activation. They're going to attack us. Yes. No, they're attacking the invasion. Well, let's try to Lightning Strike this before it gets the counter, just in case they got anything else to help out. They do not. Excellent. Who says there's no effective land destruction anymore? Oh, but they have Warcrafting. That's unfortunate. But they've got no creatures left on board to put counters on, so I guess it's not the worst thing. Okay, so Invasion, going to be able to flip over. Light Shield Array. Going to put counters on things that attack, and they can sacrifice it to protect their stuff, which is really, whenever I play against this card, that's the most annoying ability, is the protection. Let's go drawing with the Celestus, see if we can't trade up from this Battlefield Forge we just drew. Okay, I'll take a Union over that. That's good. And I think... yeah, I guess we just got to pass. So we're pretty sure our opponent's going to do something and turn it back to day here. All right, Reckless Impulse. That's kind of a guarantee. 2 spells, and then we'll get another Celestus activation on our turn. Just trying to get some more card draw. All right. So Arena should stack this correctly. Yep, there it goes. Wedding Announcement gives them the creature first, and then they get the counters. Let's draw with Union. There we go. There's a Bombardment. Celestus going to happen. And we'll just decline that, get our natural draw. We'll play out Bombardment. Now, I haven't looked that closely. Hopefully there's no adventure removal for enchantments. But let's start ourselves off here with a Union. Just to keep drawing in case they've got an answer for this. All right, we get Revelry. Well, that's going to draw. That's pretty nice. Give us some blockers. Another Revelry. All right. So opponent could go for the 4-of-a-kind Virtue of Loyalty here. Nope, just attacking with 1. Sure, we will throw a token in front of that. All right, just a whole bunch of triggers happening here. Celestus is going to happen since they didn't cast any spells. Another Bombardment. So let's discard Revelry then. Going to go Lightning Strike. Yeah, I think at our opponent. Let's see what we get. Another Union. We'll cast this Revelry. I don't think we're going to get much out of it. Oh no, they did still have more creatures than us. Yeah, no, forgot about that one. So that'll bring our opponent to 12. We've got a Sacred Fire in hand and a Burn Down the House just kind of hanging out in exile if we're trying to sneak in some devil damage. So that might be the way to go. Opponent's got a Wandering Emperor now. If we can kind of stall out the ground with these humans, we might be able to go over the top and throw the burn spells at the opponent. Yeah, let's draw. All right, Splendor, pretty good. Reckless Impulse from the opponent. Questing Druid. All right, they're definitely trying to go wide. Ren's Resolve gives them a nice counter on the Questing Druid. Looks like they got a Swift Spear too to go along with all that. Anything else? They've got to light up the night, interestingly. Decides to shoot down one of the tokens. Well, I don't mind that so much. We are at 34, and we've got a Sunset Revelry under Bombardment to hopefully give us some more tokens in the future. Let's block the big human and the second biggest human. All right, that should bring us down to 30. And gonna keep going wide with the Wandering Emperor just because these Virtue of Loyalty are gonna make everybody huge. So before that happens, let's try for Sacred Fire to activate Bombardment. We'll point that at our opponent. We get a Lightning Strike. Let's point that at our opponent too. So if we can't pull up a board wipe, or if our board wipe's not going to be big enough, we can at least try to burn our opponent out before we get hit too hard. Alright, so opponent down to 7. Virtue of Loyalty going to happen, make everybody giant. Do we have enough burn to win this? Let's play with fire for the scry. Okay, opponent didn't like that. Good game. Alright, this looks not too shabby. Going right up the chain. 1, 2, 3. We're going to play Battlefield Forge first, in case there's anything we have to play with fire from our opponent. Kumano messes with that math. We'll take 1. Nothing to shoot down. Ooh, big score. Right on time. Give me that 4th land. Bloodthirsty Adversary. Gets the token. Is hasty. Sure. We'll Lightning Strike that one. Try to conserve the life. Clean up the board a little bit. Alright, there's Bombardment. Everything's coming together. Kumano faces Kakazan. So we've got Partition and Play with Fire. We could Union and try to find our 4th land early. Squee, though. Let's Play with Fire on Squee. They don't have a whole lot in the grave, so he's not coming back too soon. Think we can afford to take the 2 from the etching. Ooh, that hurts. We missed land number 4. Classic story of me playing this deck. Thankfully, Union finds it for us. Opponent's got the backup Squee. This is going to get messy. Down to 15. There's land number 5. That's good. Yeah, we're gonna pay for this with a little chunk of damage, I think. Furnace Punisher. Well, I think we have enough basic lands to dodge that ability. So we're taking 6 here from these creatures, dropping to 9. Let's big score away our big score. We get Union and another Bombardment. Punisher happens, but we've got plenty of basics. Land. So if we go Arcane Bombardment, we've got Soul Partition to activate it. But since we're not guaranteed to pick up big score, we're going to wait till our opponent's turn. Thundering Raiju. Alright. What makes the most sense here? Second Bombardment. I think we're going to do... Looking at all these, I think Raiju actually causes the most immediate damage. So it would hit us for 3, put a counter on probably somebody else, and that would result in an additional 2 damage. So that represents 5 damage altogether, whereas everybody else is lower than that. So I think that's right. Oh boy, we are at 2. Thank you, basic lands. Let's cast Union. Play with Fire. Let's hit Squee. Let's Union again. Play with Fire the draw up to 6. Squee down. Union again. Okay, 11. That feels better. Let's just pass it on over. All right. Well, we're all set to activate Union again. Let's go play with fire on etching. Bombardment brings up lightning strike. Let's take down the Punisher. And then play with fire on one of these tokens before we union again. And we're up to 16 off of that. Finally play with fire, removes the etching. And we've somehow gotten them down to just 2 goblin tokens. Alright, well, let's play the Celestus. We have no more spells to activate it. But it looks like our opponent might be a little salty about the amount of life we've gained this game. Ah well, good game. Alright, some cheap things and some expensive things. Let's give that a try. We'll start off with this mountain just so we can play with fire or anything. Green, white. Alright, land number 2. Alright, opponent with another green-white land, straight into Kami of Transience. Let's zap that with a Sacred Fire. Keep that from coming back anytime soon. And just keep working our way up with the lands. Might be worth a play with fire for the Scry here, if we point that at our opponent. Let's see what we got. Calyx. Okay. Well, let's Sacred Fire Calyx before it gets the counter. I have been traumatized enough by that card. And I think we'll just take our chances. Of course. Never the 4th land. I will take a union. We'll get it that way. That's fine. Opponent still with a full grip of cards over there. Alright. Hallowed Haunting. That's going to speed up their game plan. Let's do a big score now. We'll discard the other one. Trying to get a land. There we go. Gotta keep those lands coming. Enables a bombardment the turn you play it. For basically every mana we can get over 6. I do like the 4 copies of Play with Fire that Mike put in this deck. That has been very helpful in activating bombardment on time. So Elesh is not going to affect us, but I think that's going to actually double up those Hallowed Haunting triggers. So let's play our land. Let's play Bombardment. And let's go ahead and play with Fire the Face. I feel like we've got some big scores down there. We might have a decent shot. There we go. Decent shot at picking one of those up. Discard a Burn Down the House. Might want to pull that up later and try to take care of Norn, but we're at 28. It's not really punishing us. It's just kind of an extra bonus for the opponent that I would like to get rid of, just can't get rid of right now. All right. Putting back out the early creatures, Generous Visitor. Gonna get a number of triggers here. See where they put the counters. Kami gets one. Norn gets one. Comes at us for a Vigilant 5 damage, bringing us to 23. Let's point a Lightning Strike down at the Weaver. Keep them from getting too many triggers off of their enchantments. Oh, and lots of big scores. All right, let's do big score and skip the other one just so we can hold on to our Burn Down the House. All right, let's play Plains. Let's do Burn Down the House on damage. We pull up a Sacred Fire. So not enough to point at Norn and get rid of that. Let's put that at our opponent. Let's big score away the Bivouac. Keep our Lightning Strike. It's a guaranteed spell for next turn. Yeah, let's pass. Let's pass. I think if we lose this game, it's not going to be because of Norn. I'd rather keep a spell and keep activating Bombardment. We got 2 big scores under there. We can get rid of both of these lands. Calyx doubling up their triggers. Let's shoot Norn this time. Okay, we did not pull up a big score. We do, however, have Play with Fire and Sacred Fire under there. So we can take care of Calyx before the tokens get put on him. And now we can big score away these worthless lands. Ah, we get in Interlopers. Alright, everything resolves. We clear out Calyx, clear out the token. We do some superfluous damage to Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines. An opponent with the Audacity now on Elesh. I'm going to pump that up to 7 power. Well, thanks to all the life gain in this deck, we're still at 20 after all that's been going on here. Feels pretty nice. Let's play land and expel. It's going to let us trigger bombardment. So let's throw all this burn at our opponent. Sacred Fire. Let's big score this land. And let's big score Revelry. So we draw into Splendor and a land. 2 copies of Soul Partition. Let's let this burn resolve here. Ooh. Find a burn down the house on the top of our library. And after all is said and done... Yeah, we'll choose 0 there. After all is said and done, got our opponent down to 9. Let's put out a Splendor. We got so much treasure to work with. Pass it on back. All right. So we've managed to get rid of Norn. Not too worried about the Haunting right now. Ah, the Borrowed Time. They found it. All right, so I think I remember how to do this. So the trigger goes on the stack. They are going to target Bombardment. If we Soul Partition the Borrowed Time now, with the ability on the stack, it will just stay in play. We can Expel again, and we've got loads of burn under here. Look at this. Yep, Play with Fire, Sacred Fire, big score again. We'll just decline that. I like these white spells. We pick up Burn Down the House. Yeah, we'll put that land on the bottom. Thank you. Lightning Strike to 2. Interlopers, we'll choose 0 again. Soul Partition takes care of the Borrowed Time. Resolve this trigger, and yep, nothing happens. Fantastic. An opponent scoops it up there. Good game. All right, it's a 2-lander. We're going to give it a try. There's our 3rd land. I don't know why I'm so inclined to keep 2-landers when I have a Play with Fire. Like that's really going to make a huge difference in me finding more lands. Just something I've noticed that I do a lot. Well, luckily we've got it for this Naturalist. Looks like another green-white enchantments matchup. Probably going to spend turn 3 casting Union. Another Naturalist. Sorry, opponent. We've got a Sacred Fire for that as well. All right, let's go Battlefield Forward. Pass it on over. Opponent's got a Generous Visitor for us. I think that's fine. We're going to do Union rather than Play with Fire that creature. Perennial problem. Still no 4th land on time. We got to use Union to get it once again. Luckily, we find it. All right, opponent's going for the Audacity on the Visitor. Follows up with a Reign of Truth as well. All right, little guy. There you go. 7-5. Swinging across there, but we are at a healthy 26. As we lay land number 5. I think we're just big scoring right here. Calyx, though. points at himself. Sure. I guess that's fine. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's bad. Oh, I've made a huge mistake. I've made a huge mistake, Michael. So anytime an enchanted creature or Calyx, I thought it was just Calyx, anytime an enchanted creature damages us, they get to copy an enchantment. Okay, that's a good draw. We get Expel the Interlopers. After drawing a bit with big score and off the top, we're going to choose 0, get rid of everything. Opponent does get to draw a little bit with those Fallen Audacities. Ooh, I gotta read these cards carefully. I'm telling you, there is so much text on cards. Back in my day, cards had like 1, maybe 2 lines of text, and they were all so bad. Never mind, though. Opponents following up, widening their board. Getting great luck with these top decks. I tell you, let's wipe this. Go Bivouac. Pass it on over. Kami's going to come back to the hand. I don't think they've got enough mana to play a creature and put the aura of Catilda on it. But they do have a Calyx. But I don't think... So even if they hit us with something, I don't think they can copy the Catilda aura, because I think the aura is legendary as well. Okay, this should line up okay. Let's go Bombardment. What do we got? Oh, we got a lot of stuff. Let's go Play with Fire at our opponent's face. We pick up a Union. Draw a Splendor. Play with Fire, seize a land. Put that on the bottom. And we've got Sacred Fire left over for another guaranteed activation on their turn. Okay, 5 mana. It's Rising Dawn time. Targeting the Kami. Well, yeah, tell you what. Let's do Sacred Fire on the Kami. If we can pick up any burn spell, we can destroy it before it gets hit with the aura. Yeah, Play with Fire. Union. Oh, no. Opponent scoops it up there. Man, good game.